something come out.
What do you do with a bunch of cops like these? One's a kleptomaniac. One's a compulsively violent ventriloquist. One's addicted to danger. And their leader's a transplanted Cajun who makes up his own rules as he goes along. What do you do with a bunch of cops like these? Give them a psychiatrist and pray.
Down on the bayou where I come from, everybody's different. I'll tell you something. Living be a problem to a man who don't run. Sleep without a mattress and a loaded gun. Back in the shadows, cottonmouth is lying. Deep in the city, lost men are dying. Look down in the water, sky is what you see. Life is kinda strange that way. Broken ain't a problem, ain't nothing near free. Cracked is nearly perfect, perfectly cracked naturally. Oh, Shelby. Over up the city where the light's supposed to shine. Everybody friendly, but they give you no time. Life ain't worth doing when you're holding the line. Half shot getting whiskey and muscadine wine. Back in the shadows, cottonmouth is lying. Deep in the city, lost men are dying. Look down in the water, sky is what you see. Life's just kinda strange that way. Broken ain't a problem, ain't nothing near free. Cracked is nearly perfect, perfectly cracked naturally. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
On the banks of the Mississippi, where the bayou breezes blow, you can feel the changes happening. West Bank is on the go. Discover the magic of the West Bank. So many things to do and see. Discover the people of the West Bank. It's a great place to be. We're the gateway to New Orleans.
Had a little bit of money, so the Lord did me good. Got all kind of shit. Got the glow sticks, I got the gotcha bag, got the Hawaiian punch. Man, everybody won't holler at pop what you need. I got it. If I ain't got it, I can find it, you understand? I'm selling glow sticks. Glow sticks that go with the yeah. You know what I'm saying? Stay bombad. Welcome to the Bombadcast.
What is up, Bombad fam? Yes, discover the magic of the West Bank of YouTube. That is the Bombadcast. Everybody high five Paul for us tonight. Go ahead, give Paul a high five. High five Paul. High five your screen. I've seen everyone backstage giving Paul a high five. That's great. I love this. I love this energy. It's great. Welcome. Listen, this is we've arrived, I think, at what is probably going to be the fastest blocked episode of Bombadcast by Scotty Jarod. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how this goes. But no, listen, we're here to talk about Mandalorian, but we have a special guest, and Scotty's a little hot and bothered backstage. But you know what? Every Thursday we do this little show. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Where do the conversion. It's fine. You could do it. But the Bombadcast, we get together, we hang out with you, internet people, you vagabonds here. You're our broken badges. We love you so much. But guys, we're here to talk about the the Mandalorian tonight. Every Tuesday also, or excuse me, Wednesday, my buddy Scotty, he plays video games. He plays them on this channel, and you can come catch it here, 8 p.m. Central. Watch him play, probably with a Michael McBoy, with all the people that are going to be on the show tonight. Pretty much been on that, but don't forget, it's not scripted. It's Bombad. Honestly, if you think I'm reading a script, you're effing high. That's all I got to say. But you know what? There's me. Stay Bombad. I want to bring in my buddy, my Bombad boyo, I would say the kleptomaniac to my was it a compulsively violent ventriloquist, Scotty Jarod, everyone.
Wanna have you near me? I wanna have you hear me say it.
Super excited to be here tonight, Jarod.
Hey, what's
going
up,
on, baby? Nothing much, man. Super pumped to be here. It's gonna be a good night. Remember, we have to take our knee.
Hold on, take our knee. Jim, hold on, Jim. We got Jim in the chat here. Take your knee. Everyone take a knee for Gyarados. And here we go. And Maz.
All right, we did it.
All right. I think we've done it. If you're not doing that at home, I mean, why are you?
What are you doing? No, it's bad. Hold on, I had a realization earlier. I was listening to the very theme I wrote almost 4 years ago for the Bombadcast, and like that theme has become so disjointed from my creation. Like, and literally, like it has become its own entity. It's like, whenever like okay, like here's one. Jack White says like Seven Nation Army. Like the White Trump song has like become its own thing entirely. It's like the people's thing, right? It's no longer his. It never was his to begin with. The Bombadcast theme obviously is a riff on the Star Wars theme, but like,
well, I was gonna say you could say that it is not ours at all. That it is in fact John Williams.
But like when I even hear it, I groove to it. I saw Michael dancing to it earlier. I'm like, why? I'm like, that is become so far detached from that something I sat here behind my desk and worked on for like 2 days straight to like being its own entity. So very happy to say that. I need to bring someone in first because the first person we bring in, we
got a lot of people backstage, man.
Legend. For those that don't know, absolute legend. Just such a vibe.
Yes. Holder of the necromancy.
That's right.
What is that book? The Necronomicon. That's what it is.
He might have it. I wonder if he's gonna.
Honestly, he might.
I do want to say this person is one of my favorite people in the space. He's got a fantastic show currently. He's doing with a couple people on screen right now. I guess a campaign. If you let's bring in Mikey McCoy.
Hey mate, who invited you here?
Whoa! It switched hands.
Still got it, did it?
Switched hands.
Wow.
This is my
that's what it is.
journal.
Very
That's
nice.
sick. I love having you here, dude. I want to kick it off. We always do plugs at the end, and I think we need to change the script, Jerry. I think plugs should be at the beginning.
Flip it.
Because if you
know
enjoy
what I say about the script? It's not scripted, it's Bombad. That's what I say. But,
that's right. Michael, plug Ionized Bastards.
My Star Wars RPG series, Ionized
good.
Bastards. We are rapidly coming up on the finale of season 1. I do it alongside Jerry and Jarod and Dan Miller from Bro Axiom and Alden Diaz from Octo Radio. All wonderful, wonderful people. Great players who made incredible characters. We are coming up on the season 1 finale, as I said. The players are rapidly catching up with a ship called the Junkyard Leviathan and preparing for a fight with a character called Salvage. So if you want to check that out and you want to listen to me do this voice, then you can find that on my YouTube channel.
I just saw Joe get a boner. I literally want
Salvage. Salvage by the Way. This is a very. It's honestly. It feels like a Bad Batch style villain. Honestly.
Oh, I love it.
And I know Michael might not take might take offense to that, but me and Scotty will think that's awesome. But yeah, no, this guy is sadistic. It's pretty cool. So
I'm excited. I can't
Ryan,
wait for the finale.
cheers.
Looking forward to it. Another shout out real quick. Our friend Eric Elliott, for those that don't know, has his
What's up,
own
man?
podcast now that he recorded, and it's called On Claude. I think. No, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm correct on that. I subscribed to it earlier. Hold on. I just subscribed to it. Make sure I'm correct on that. Eric, you're more than welcome to correct me in the comments. But super excited. He joined in on Force Connect when I was on there for the first time, and I was super excited. Let me make sure I'm correct on that. The show is called Honest to Claude. Honest to Claude, which I like better than On Claude.
Fantastic name.
Oh,
Eric.
it's so good. So
fantastic name.
There may be a collaboration in your near future with Bombad because we love Claude, and maybe we can make a whole Claude-centric episode. Let's bring in our very own Claude, the one and only. Dude, he's about to take so much offense to that.
I can see the fervor on this man's face, like how much he wants to rip you a new one already.
Oh man, I got a good clip for this dude right here. All right, here we go. This is for our Claude.
Anyways, my broskies, I got to bounce on your boy's dick. Hey, got him.
There we go.
He got him.
I can't fucking stand you. I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
Why though?
I loathe you.
Why?
I loathe you because back in December of 2021, the two gentlemen on top here, one of the few times anyone's on top of me, except for our other guest tonight, out fenced me in a Star Wars trivia match hosted by one Eli of Star Wars in a Galaxy. And almost a month exactly to the day, my chance at revenge is nigh.
I'm going to actually pull up a graphic that I'm making right now for those that want to take it and write it down. The great rematch of a century will be coming up on April 10th, 2023. So if you haven't yet, the stream has not been made. We will hopefully be getting that made very soon. But just know
we are waiting on a very cool thumbnail that one Charlie Ashby is working on.
This is it. This is the rematch of it. It's very dramatic. The rematch of a century between Jarod and Scotty J-Ro. Super nervous, super excited. I have a wedding 2 days before that, so I probably won't be preparing for trivia, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Yeah. And that's a good plug. Hope everyone knows that it's going to be a live rematch, probably in the evening.
Guys, we're about to get a Taylor cameo. We're about to get a Taylor cameo because she's bringing me a grilled cheese.
Taylor! Oh my God, Taylor! Can we have grilled cheeses all around? I'm sorry.
I wish I had a grilled
cheese.
cheese.
You're not a server. I'm sorry.
So
I wish Taylor would bring me a grilled cheese.
It's beautiful.
Look at that. It's got a garnish too. That's incredible. Taylor, nice tattoo as well, by the way, Taylor. That's fantastic.
They're complimenting your tattoo and the garnish on the sandwich.
It's so nice.
I love you so much. I love you.
Two thumbs way up.
Two thumbs way up.
Two thumbs way up. Our next guest, but let's bring him in.
Whoa!
The one and the only. You know who I'm referring to. We should play the national anthem for him.
And now, the stars of 4Kids will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
gave proof through the night
that our flag was still there.
Oh, say does that star-spangled
banner yet wave. For the land of the free and the home of the
Happy 4th of July from all of us at 4Kids TV.
Everyone salute.
Wow.
There he is.
That was so powerful.
God, who doesn't
It was so
love this
beautiful.
person? We're taking this. This is the view that's going to be tonight. That's the only way we'll stream. This is it. Oh,
I need to interject.
Oh, I get to be by Joe?
Just real quick.
hold
Do you have any idea how good this sandwich needs to be for Joe Organa to be the thing I want in my mouth second most?
Can I get an A Lamau in the chat for that one?
Yeah, give it a Lamau.
Lamau. Hey, listen, I want to godsplain Nick, by the way. It is Jesus's death, not his fucking birthday. When Scotty will kick Jared's ass. So just so you know.
Wait, it's his
Better
rebirth.
hope so for y'all's sake.
Oh my God. Okay, look at Joe. Joe, we are honored to have you
We're
here.
about to kill and bring Jared back to life.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
What? So your second night in a row, me and you,
I
we're
know.
going. Oh,
this is
You
insane.
You never let me out of the cage 2 nights in a row. This is so exciting.
I put a tweet out this morning. I said, what was it, Joe? It was like, I can't get this taste out my mouth, Joe, or something really stupid.
Something like that. I will say I woke up to a lot of tweets and everything about last night. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Sounds like I missed a banger, honestly.
You did. There was a lot of banging, and we had a good time.
It happens.
I know I did.
You know?
The banging of guns. No, not peckers. That being said, I'm very excited.
No.
I need to eat a donut for Joe. Just give me a second.
I got a donut for you.
I need to eat a donut.
What do we get? Oh my God.
What?
See, I didn't get the assignment. Where's
Thanks, I hate it.
And now you guys know why my ass
I didn't sign off on this. That's
Pretty
was
good.
honestly, Joe, way to go. Like, good for you.
Thank you.
And honestly,
Good
honestly,
donut.
it's
That was
impressive.
a really good donut. Wow.
Really clears me out.
The whole is consumed.
Look at that. Usually
by the
consumed.
way,
Usually.
Got a whole left.
I'm so glad we're all here. I'm so glad we got to talk about this episode. I do have a reveal. This is not a joke. So, for those that
was
don't
the
know,
donut not the reveal?
It's not. No, it's actually not a surprise. Sorry.
There's a lot of stuff coming up. Apparently.
So obviously, I don't know if y'all know. You may have seen my tweet. Oh, poor Michael. He's just choking on my donut. Y'all may have seen the tweet.
Michael's reprising his role as General Grievous, actually. I think.
But I have a groom's cake for my wedding, right? And the groom's cake is pod race themed. I don't know if y'all know that, right? So I recently got a package in, and do you want to see some Boonta Eve micro machines?
Boy,
yes.
howdy.
All right, I'll open it. I want to see y'all's reaction while
I might
open it.
have.
Here we go.
I would say I might have some of those in a big tote over here. Actually, in a big tote. I might have them in my ass.
I did a pre-open. Here we go.
What Scotty is about to
Look at
do is going to be a testament to just how charming he is in real life, that he is actually going to get married despite what he's about to show us.
Right?
What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
No, this is real. This is.
There will be no nerd shaming on this show. No nerd shame.
If anything, this makes Scotty.
You can all get a partner.
This is even hotter to me. I've never been
You're
more
100%
turned on.
right, Joe. I'm just
It's the
talking shit
truth.
because it's Scotty.
I love
Plus,
watching
he's
a
getting
man.
sweaty trying to open that thing
Oh
too.
my God.
Look at that.
Oh my God.
God.
Put your ass into it,
Look at his
Scott.
ass.
Oh, yeah, that's the deal.
Heave it.
Oh, yes. Back it up, Scott. Back it up.
Bust it down.
This
fuck
show,
the
we are talking about chapter 18 of The Mandalorian eventually on this show.
I hope
by
this
the way.
is someone's first episode.
I do too.
Probably one of Joe's fans. They're like, we came to see that dumb bimbo. Oh, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
No, Joe, say it. I want to hear what you said to say.
No, I was gonna say this would please my fans. I think if anything.
Well,
honestly,
honestly, yeah.
they're coming in here thinking I'm getting 14'd. Honestly, so.
Here we go.
Well, I mean,
this is going on the groom's cake.
Jeff
that box art. That box art, though.
I know. I have to tear it open. That's okay.
This era.
I think I have those.
This era, man.
They are beautiful.
I don't think I had the Sebulba. I don't think I had the Sebulba pod. But I had
Sebulba.
Yes, excuse me, Sebulba.
Here we go.
God, I need to make a widescreen version of that.
Sebulba, he always comes.
Ooh.
It's Annie's pod.
I had that one. I had that one.
There it is.
Little Annie.
Pod
And who
Racer
else is
Pack
that?
one.
Jared might know. Jared Trivia King.
Hold it up
Who's
again.
that?
What is it?
That's a shriveled Braytrand.
There you go. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that, but I didn't get to it in time.
It's the labia minora.
My favorite Zelda character.
I was gonna say that's my favorite Zelda boss. You
Terrible.
fight him on Fire Rock.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Mars Guo.
Yellow balls.
Look at this. High speed rolling wheels. This is going on a cake. How cool is that? Let's see. A graham cracker funfetti cake. Look at this in this last one. Dud bolt, baby. You see that dud bolt shit, boy?
The mighty Dud Bolt.
Oh, yeah. Lord. So there
Scotty,
they are.
stop talking about the wedding. Maybe it's because I've already had too much to drink, but I'm gonna cry because I'm so excited to meet all my friends.
I can't wait. Joe, do you want to come to the wedding?
Oh,
when is the wedding?
Next month.
I would love to, but I don't think I'm gonna make it, unfortunately.
That's fine.
Listen, let's throw it
I'll
out to the
still be
chat.
on
Who wants to come to Scotty's wedding? No.
Bowing to you, Elder Fuck.
I will just say, just as a full response to that box art, Padawan Obi-Wan hits different.
Oh, I agree.
Maybe it is my nostalgia for that terrible game I talk about all the time.
It is.
But
I think it's because he was younger and had more stamina.
Which
so
one
he's hitting a lot faster.
No, it's fully nostalgia for a bad video game. But you're right. Ewan's
talking Jedi Power Battles?
Ewan's hotter the older he gets. Padawan Obi-Wan is my favorite only in terms of like aesthetic, but like Clone Wars era and like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Woof.
Bless up. Woof. Woof. Okay. So obviously we're all here to talk about The Mandalorian, right? I think that's why most of us are here.
Obviously.
I know that's why Joe's here. Yeah. I am super excited to discuss this episode. Obviously, starting off, we got the Bunta Classic, and I did not think it was like, I mean, we never saw any other context. The night before the Bunta. So wait, let's talk about this. In the Phantom Menace, we watched the Bunta Eve Classic. So it is the Eve what is Bunta?
Well, it's like a
feast.
It's what comes after Bunta Eve. It's what comes after Bunta Eve. Honestly.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Right.
I'm just curious.
Apparently, it's some
like Mardi Gras.
It's something. It seems to be like a combination of the 4th of July and St. Patrick's Day. According to
I was going to say maybe like a 4th of the New Year's Patrick Day.
Yeah,
something. 4th of the New Year's strikes back, kind of a thing.
So, Joe, we're saying words. I don't know if you're aware what words are. And for the folks at home, you're watching this on your computer or your smartphone. So I'm just making sure.
Taylor's watching it on the TV. You dumb son of a bitch.
Got him.
Listen, that's how fancy people do it. Okay, that's what we do. All right.
Down south, we do things a little differently.
That sandwich was so good, y'all.
Hut tongue slay.
Well, maybe
tongue slay is Mardi Gras. Oh, okay.
You know, maybe Bunta is kind of like a racing holiday too, because you see those two speeders racing through the streets, right? Maybe it's I don't know.
Okay,
maybe
who is happy?
All of those holidays in the Indy 500.
What a great drop, right? Of the name of the event, obviously. But like, who was happy that we only had Pelly for like 5 minutes? I didn't want a whole Pelly episode. I'm gonna be real with you.
I love Pelly, but I was just happy with how quickly that whole scene went about. Like, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna be on Tatooine for an entire episode looking for some chip, and I was so glad when R5 rolled up, and I was like, oh, he's gonna take R5 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just worked out that way, and it was quick, and then we were right on to Mandalore. I was like, thank God, that was so nice. It was refreshing. I wanted some action, not a little side quest.
I agree.
As a Pelimoto fan,
I am too.
I don't want to say I'm glad Pelly wasn't in it as much, so much as like I was just so ready to get to Mandalore because like when you see like the episode title is The Mines of Mandalore, like they make it abundantly clear we're not wasting any time. We're not making you wait till the end of the season for any of this, which like I didn't expect to get to Mandalore necessarily until like mid-season, you know?
I agree. Same.
But that did make me confused as to why we spent so much time with IG in the first episode. I was like, so then what was all that about?
Well, I thought that when Pelly shows up, I thought, okay, this episode is going to be him getting that chip to get. Which again, it was so. I don't know if I know you're a Pelly fan, Scotty. But like I was just happy to get Pelimoto like so early.
So me too.
Already, like
even if it was brief.
Yeah.
No tooth
but
like that.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Pelly's entire own show with like what is it? Bright Eyes or whatever she called.
I was hoping we would see the Major Domo.
Me too.
I was hoping we get a little bit like he's like him walking out in a bathrobe. Like, oh, hello.
I thought he was going to be the one who like escorts the Rodian out.
Yeah, maybe later in the season.
Yeah. He's like, can I read you our terms of service, sir? Kind of thing. But no, it was like, and again. This season's kind of been pedal to the metal, but not rushed. I guess if that makes it. It doesn't. I don't feel like we've rushed. In fact, I feel like we've kind of been on a really awesome adventure, and there's kind of a lot of really awesome shit still to come. Like we don't know what's still coming, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Like Pelimoto supremacy, honestly. Like I would like. I want to know I want to be friends with Pelimoto in real life. And I'm going to give my first prediction, I think, of the season. I think Pelimoto is going to leave the planet Tatooine for the first time.
Oh, that'd be cool. I would like that.
Because she said she's never left the planet, right? Yeah. She's been on Tatooine her whole life.
When did she say that, Jerry?
She said it
in
I'm a local
Book
gal,
of Boba Fett.
Chapter 5,
what?
Book of Boba Fett.
And what?
Book of Boba Fett.
I didn't watch that.
Book of Boba Fett.
I didn't watch that. Why is
honey, you're gonna be a little
I meant to ask why
how he got the N1.
Is season 3 like a prequel?
And why can't he do big jumps now?
Is it like an
I hate this already.
Why are there stormtroopers? No.
I'm gonna give up immediately on this awful bit. Grogu doing Jedi acrobatics made me so happy. Like I out loud went whenever he like did his little he
jumped into Pelly's arms.
That was so cute.
Oh, so
adorable.
I just like the whole vibe of it was very quick though. Like literally the exchange, the way it felt, watching her, totally screw over that Rodian, and then they're like, he was like, "Hey, do you happen to have this IG chip, memory chip?" But I also love how funny that bit was. She was like, blah, 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 memory chip. I was like, that's amazing. Good Lord.
Pelly talking like, Jawaese is endless. Like, I will never tire of it, honestly. So far, we've gotten so much of it since Book of Boba Fett. It's a great addition. Oh, my God.
Oh, it's good.
I wanted to be dating with Major Domo and a Jawa again.
Taylor and I have already decided that for Halloween we're going as Din Djarin and Pelimoto. But I told her last night that part of me is considering going as a Jawa. Just so I can run around and just go,
Listen, I'll fly in. I'll be the short guy for you, okay? Like I'll go in there,
Jerry.
I'll put on the robe. Yeah.
I appreciate
I'll take that bullet.
Can you take off the robe?
It'd be very furry, according to Pelly. So.
Hey, that's right, King. But wait, there was a line drop. There was a line drop I wanted to bring up. I don't know if it was a reference or if it really refers to something bigger, but they referred to R5, or she referred to R5 as a rebellion hero or a hero of the rebellion.
So And this is just because I am making my way through the From a Certain Point of View books for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Because Return of the Jedi is my favorite original trilogy movie. Depending on the day, it might even be my favorite Star Wars movie, even though I think TLJ is the number one for real, though. But anyway, there's a story from R5's perspective where basically he's like memory wipe starts to lapse, and he remembers that before he got scooped up by Jawas, he was part of the rebellion. And like kind of like Legends, but not really. He actively makes the decision to blow his own motivator so that R2 gets.
Yes,
yeah,
I remember that. Okay,
he sensed he was.
Yeah, R2 tells R5, he's like, "Hey, like, I need to get bought because
my
shit's
life is
hitting
more
the
important
fan."
than yours."
He's like, "I'm on a mission. Can you please throw me a bone here?"
Yeah.
And then R5 remembers that he's a part of the rebellion, and then kind of like goes, "Hey, all yours blue. Get out of here." So it looks like Pelly somehow figured out that R5 was actually a part of the Rebel Alliance and went from there.
That's interesting because I knew that novel, really cool. You know, obviously is canon, but I love how much Favreau even honored that. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
I was surprised Dave honored it.
I agree. People say all they want about some of these writers and creators, but like sometimes they really do. They do come in clutch for really weird, like that kind of moment shit.
He put his whole favussy in it.
The whole damn thing.
It was dripping it.
Every last crumb.
Oh,
good lord.
But how great was that? You know, he was kind of a nervous droid. I love that little bit. That was awesome.
And as someone whose favorite Star Wars movie is A New Hope,
yeah,
I love every small reference we get. Like, I'm a sucker for these sorts of things. I know people complain. I don't care. It made me happy.
I agree. I completely agree. And
I said last night rewatching it that like every time we see Pelimoto or even see Tatooine, like it is this celebration of both A New Hope and The Phantom Menace every time.
Yeah. I agree.
That I'm convinced that Jerry, Michael, and Scotty are like writing every Tatooine episode, or at the very least, like putting notes in.
I get so giddy when we see Tatooine
More sand.
Because
that's my notes.
I texted y'all. It's just a lot of anthropology there. I mean, just a lot of world building, and like we know so much about Tatooine and the fact that like apparently they get trashed before Boonta Eve or on Boonta Eve. It's like it's so cool they mentioned all that, and like it's I get it. I feel for it.
I think it's particularly interesting, especially because like when you look at Andor, we got in the grand scheme of things maybe 2 whole hours, maybe 2.5 of Ferrix.
Yeah.
Compared to how many movies, how many TV shows, how many books, how many comics, how many games of Tatooine, right? And a video essayist I'm quite fond of, Jessie Gender, did made a comment where she was like, it feels like we know more about the culture of Ferrix than we do with Tatooine, even though we've known Tatooine for 50 years. And I don't think she's entirely wrong. But what I really like about stuff like the Book of Boba Fett in this episode, especially of The Mandalorian, where it's like we're finally getting a vibe of like what it's like to live on Tatooine, other than it's the galaxy's armpit, it's a shithole. Every scumbag across the galaxy has been on spends time on Tatooine in their off hours. And it's also so nice to see it not be a shithole, whether it's because of Boba Fett's leadership or just the removal of the Empire, and like not to say that the Empire like intentionally like removed the criminal element, because we know they didn't. It was very active during the original trilogy, but like the confluence of the way the Empire governed the criminal element of Tatooine and then the Empire's fall kind of happening at this same time, where like Boba Fett was able to get rid of the worst parts of it, that now Tatooine isn't this like comical shithole. Maybe there's always been this like thriving culture and we just haven't seen it. But like Tatooine seems like a happier place post the Book of Boba Fett.
That's true.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, because even in Mando season 1, it was very seedy still. It was very like unsettling, unnerving in some scenes.
This is Mos Eisley too.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I'm happy to like also obviously leave the planet when we do. Like I was looking forward to picking right back up in Mandalore and going into that whole story, and like the fact that we got like Daddy Din Djarin, who was like just Randy all about that. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
brother.
I know. Like, and this is the radar. This is the the planetary system. I'm like, oh my god! Like, could you imagine just being in that guy's lap like a little?
Yes.
Just like, oh, like I'll simulate it. I'll simulate it.
Simulate, please.
Oh no.
And that there is Joe Organa. And that there is Mikey McBoy. And that there's my trivial rival. There he is. There's Grogu. No, but all seriousness, it was so cool to see him like full on lead into the dad stuff and like
really cute.
Oh my god! And like the fact that it pays off so much more later, and the one line drop that I wanted to kind of fixate on was he's never been to Mandalore, even though he had been he was on Concordia. Is the name of it Concordia or Concord Dawn? What was it?
Concordia.
Concordia. Yeah.
Concordia. Cornucopia. I do love that he was there. Obviously, never been to the planet, and even before it was turned to glass, like what Levette said. That's very interesting. I wonder why he had never had the opportunity to go. What do y'all think?
I mean, he was taken in under Death Watch, right? And they were banished.
Banned.
I think,
they were
weren't
banished.
They?
Oh, well, that makes more canon sense.
I think so. I think that's what they're referring to, at least. Like he was rescued by Death Watch. Well, we can't really go over there anymore. So we're gonna stay over here, and maybe he was too young to go help fight. Maybe
because Mandalore started as the Duchess Satine pacifistic reign, and then you had very briefly Pre Vizsla usurped by Maul, and so you've got a lot of like not safe areas over there. Then you got the siege, Imperial occupation. It kind of makes sense that this cult of tradition obsessed weirdos had to hide out on one of the moons instead of the main world, especially given their combative tendencies.
Sorry. I got excited because Michael was cooking and I wanted to jump in.
Let me cook, Jared.
I'm sorry, you got to cook. No, well, I think it's interesting. Like Bo-Katan says, like you bailed on Mandalore before the Mandalorian genocide that the Imperials did. So I think it's really interesting that like even before it was annihilated, there are no Mandalorians who like or who are members of the Children of the Watch at least who got to step foot on their like homeland. Really, it seems like they've always been kind of pulled away from that culture. And one of my favorite elements of it was seeing the pain in Bo-Katan's eyes. Like one of my favorite things about like watching The Mandalorian with Taylor is it like, and granted, I'm not going to have this for much longer because we are watching the Clone Wars now, but like she didn't see like the geometric hanging gardens in Mandalore,
Yep.
Like she saw this bombed out husk of a tomb. So like even Taylor went, man, that's got to be hard for her, and it makes me happy like hearing like people who haven't seen the Clone Wars yet who are like clocking like, this is painful for everybody involved. That like, and I like, even I like, again, as somebody who doesn't really give a damn about like the Mandalorian culture and all that stuff, it's cool, but it's, far from my favorite thing. Even I'm just like, wow, this is awful. This hurts to look at because a genocide took place here. And it's one of my favorite thematic things about The Mandalorian is that it as a whole is about all of these people living in the aftermath of the Empire annihilating their culture and annihilating their way of life, between Grogu being an ex-Jedi in whatever capacity you want to say, and all of these Mandalorians who have had their home world and their culture stripped away from them. But, Andor is the only Star Wars thing that's ever talked about the evils of fascism, I guess.
I love what Jared's saying. Jared touched on a point I was literally just about to make in that, with this era of The Mandalorian, I feel like, when we all sort of conceived this post Return of the Jedi era pre-Force Awakens, we think of like, oh, this is the time of peace. You know, this is where everything was great after the Empire. Everyone was fine. But really, it was. I love what the show is doing in exploring a post-imperial galaxy that we are still like dealing with the scars left behind. We are still dealing with the shadow of the Empire that's still looming over this galaxy. And so even though it's supposedly an era of peace, we're still dealing with the consequences of what came before and the threat of what's coming up.
I agree. And the events of the Night of a Thousand Tears only happened, like, if we think about in terms of canon, like less than 10 years ago, right? So then you see all this destruction and like Din's like, this must make you sad. This must have been a beautiful place. And I'm like, God, like even us as viewers who've gotten the privilege to know it through Clone Wars are sitting there like, yeah, it was a beautiful place. And it was very, he was like, there were so many Mandalorians that walk this area. And she's like, yeah, there was. Like, it's brutal, And I agree,
but even
Michael.
then, sorry, Scotty, there's something that's like really like cool to me. Like, the core of any type of religious cult, and obviously, like when we talk about fascism within Star Wars, like we're always talking about the Empire. But one of like the core tenets and core like ideas around like any type of like fascistic, like authoritarian rule is like this deranged and diluted nostalgia for an age that didn't exist. So while Din is walking the ruins of Mandalore talking about this must have been beautiful, there must have been all these people, Din, I hate to tell you, not a single fucking one of them was wearing a suit of armor.
Nope, not once. Nope.
Not during Bo-Katan's age, not while her sister ran this.
Nope.
They were all walking around in these like, just ornate robes and stuff. Because
even
like,
then, when Death Watch took over, they weren't about that helmet stuff either.
No, they weren't either.
No.
So like,
no.
It goes to show Din's radicalization and Din's like absorption into this cult that like he's like, oh, this must have been beautiful. Like, yeah, it was a beautiful place, but your people still would have hated it because no one here was wearing a suit of armor. The only people wearing suits of armor were the terrorist organization that she was in, and they didn't even agree with what you were doing.
Exactly. That's such a cool idea. Because you got to think, obviously, for behind the scenes purposes, it only makes it easier when you don't have to show the actors or actresses' face. Like that's the real, honest to God reason. Like you can have Pedro Pascal show up maybe 4 or 5 times a season for this reason alone. But in terms of like just being a religious zealot or being obsessed with this mythology, you got to think like if we can't be united in our ways and beliefs, at least we can be united with our mask, so I guess that maybe is Death Watch's perspective on it. Like it doesn't matter what we look like because we are that people. And you see Bo struggle so much with this mythology and like getting, Din's too stuck in the symbols. Bo doesn't give a shit about the symbols, but the symbol is down the middle. You always, anything in terms of faith, any religion, anything you believe in, it's never directly about the symbol. It's never negating the symbol. It's finding a meaning within it for yourself. And like, there she is like, oh, we did this. I had all these presents rained on me the day I was inducted. I was a princess, like all these wonderful things. And then she watches this dude, go through this experience and she's like rolling her eyes at him. And of course, we'll get to the reveal later. But everything about what she thought was bullshit was flipped on its head. But also everything that, he probably thinks is bullshit is, still, somewhere within his DNA, who he is.
Well, I love that, like, Jared's talking about all these factions. You're talking about like Bo wrestling with all these symbols and everything, but I love Bo wrestling with the fact that Mandalorians have been fighting each other for no or goddamn confusing reasons
no
forever.
One knows why.
I loved that exchange. She's like, it's confusing to even explain why we fight each other sometimes.
Yep.
I just thought that was a very human, very, she's lost her faith maybe, but at the same time, that's someone who is just like, all we have to do is just, we're all Mandalorians. All we got to do is just look past. I think the symbol can mean something to you, but also she's wrestling with you have to look past the symbol a little bit, or look past the armor and realize that we're all the same. We're all on the same team,
Okay.
And it's just, I love that.
You have a cool perspective because you have religious trauma for the most part, or you feel like you have experience.
I am fucked up. Yes. Yeah. No. Because it's true.
You were a hold on. Yeah. But I don't know if Joe ever had that in your life. I never got that deep with you, Joe, but like Jerry for at one point was like a literal preacher, and like
I was
went
a preacher.
to school
Yeah,
for it.
Yeah.
Went to school for it. Like his college degree was at this school, and like Jerry shared that with me one time. Like we were in Louisiana hanging out one night, and like I literally sat there and heard Jerry's stories. I'm like, man, like it, not to say everything Jerry was told his whole life was a lie, quote unquote, but like when you have to reevaluate,
it wasn't my truth. It wasn't.
No,
my
it
truth.
wasn't. No, exactly.
I lived it for most of my life too.
Yes,
which is why I really identify with Din Djarin right now. That's not his truth that he's trying to live.
No, because
his truth. His truth is he's a dad.
Exactly.
That's his truth.
And he's trying to find some way of pleasing this mother that he has no reason to please. Whereas you got Bo-Katan, who is, and this is where it gets really weird and very Freudian, but that's the mother he always needed, quote unquote, because she's the one that saves his ass. She's the one that's there for him whenever she literally, has no reason.
Bo is well, and then, like, I mean, mother figure, just like positive female.
Bo is tough love.
Yes,
tough love.
No,
well, it's tough love, but it's also support. It's also support. The armorer is a manipulator.
Yeah,
that's what I will say.
Okay.
From my perspective,
the armorer is you live in my house, you live under my rules, under my roof, you live under my rules. That's what the armorer is.
Yeah,
it's very much the hey, if you like the whole like redemption thing, like hey, if you can do that, then yeah, I guess I have to, kind of a thing.
Hold on. I was thinking the whole time, what the hell is Din gonna do when he goes back and he goes, yes, Bo-Katan took me, and because the whole previous chapter 5 of Book of Boba,
that's like. Listen, that's like, okay, so the difference. This is why the Mandalorian speaks to my religious trauma so bad, because I grew up Church of Christ. Michael, you might know a little bit about this too. Like different denominations of Christianity don't get along.
Yeah.
And,
we do not.
My denomination of Church of Christ that I went to, if the Baptists went through the doors, we were going to go out the windows, right?
Okay,
because I mean, it's like a whole like. So it's like going to your Church of Christ fundamentalist mother and being like, I was rebaptized. Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. By who? By this Baptist female preacher.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I know you don't think that girls. I know you don't think that females should preach because they don't have a dick, but she's really got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's gonna go. That's honestly, if it doesn't go like that, it's gonna be. But there's gonna be some rubbing the wrong way.
Look at Jarod.
I feel.
Here we go.
Well, what I was going to say was, and again, I'm not going to pretend to be some expert on radicalization, but I've read a lot. I would hesitate to call Bo-Katan a mother figure. She is, for lack of a better term, a pseudo sponsor for Din.
Okay.
Because she herself was radicalized.
That's true.
Like recently there was a clip of Katie Sackhoff talking about Bo-Katan's character. She was like, we don't talk enough about how young Bo-Katan was when she was hanging out with Death Watch.
That's true.
So like you're dealing with somebody who spent their youth radicalized, who spent their adult years loyal and radicalized, who by hook or by crook realized she was wrong when she watched Pre Vizsla be murdered by Darth Maul. So when all of that happens, you see Bo have this crisis of faith. She completely dedicates herself to Mandalorian liberation and rebels. And then we flash forward and like she was all gung-ho in Mando season 2. That year and a half, 2 years, however long Jon Favreau was going to tell us it took place. I don't fucking care. All of that happened. We flash forward to her at the beginning of this season. She is in her Luke Skywalker Last Jedi era for Mandalorian culture.
I agree.
She's completely hung it up.
Yeah.
And what I love about the dynamic between her and Din Djarin is that Din, I hope, is going to get a kick in the teeth here that tells him the children of the Watch do not care about you. The Armorer is scared of you because you have the Darksaber now. And her answer to your like unforgivable sin was to send you somewhere to die after she arguably tried to get you killed by Paz Vizsla.
Yeah.
So, and again, I do not think it is. I don't think we talk enough about the fact that after Din beat the brakes off of Paz, immediately the Armorer was like, "Have you removed your helmet?" Like, it seems like she's trying to get rid of someone who can usurp her.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So,
that's a good way to look at it.
At the same time that I hope Din is going to have this culture shock where the Armorer doesn't want him back because he presents a threat, and he realizes what the Armorer stands for, what the Children of the Watch stand for, is hollow and empty and is a byproduct of a radicalization that only happens when a culture comes from the brink of extermination, that he starts to realize that there is meaning in symbols, there is meaning in myth and legend, but also like this is a cult. This is built around a power dynamic that does not benefit anybody but the people at the top. And at the same time, what Bo-Katan experiences throughout this episode will give her her faith back. So they're both experiencing this like weird act of equilibrium.
Oh yeah,
where
it's
Din
awesome.
gets de-radicalized at the same time that she finds her religion again.
Michael.
Yeah.
And I think also like one important thing to point out as to why Din is like a quote unquote threat to the Armorer, it is because he has broken out of his sheltered environment from the Children of the Watch, because that's where these like cults and religious indoctrination really thrive, is by not exposing you to other ideas that are out there in the world. But Din has gotten away from just Navarro and bounty hunting. He's grown so much beyond that. He's associating with like enemy sorcerers now. Like he's got a couple on speed dial, you know, and I think that being exposed to so many new things in the galaxy and all these new experiences, they are changing him in ways he does and does not realize. And I think that is part of what is going to eventually get him away from the Children of the Watch, is the fact that he has seen so much now, and the fact that the Armorer knows that he has seen a galaxy beyond her vision, essentially. And I think she will try and make him pay the price for his vision.
Yeah,
for he does not have a lack of it.
So it's weird too, because the whole I guess in terms of, that's pretty good, in terms of like what happens between just Din and Bo, there was a really cool exchange with the soup, and I'm like, you know, that is obviously food is a really big culture thing, and especially where I live, like it's just what unites every aspect of my culture, at least in Louisiana. I know other places it's the same, but like here in particular, I mean, you all know. But like when she's like, I grew up with this, you never had this, then like she never says, though, she's never a dick. She's never like, then you're not a Mandalorian if you haven't had the soup, you know, like a little kid would say. But like, but like this is what she grew up on. And then the part where, you know, one of my favorite parts, and I saw someone ripping on this scene, it actually really pissed me off, was whenever but I never get pissed off. But someone's like, how rude, you know, how rude was it when Din's, you know, after Bo's like, yeah, my dad died defending Mandalore, and he goes, this is the way. And I'm like, and everyone thought it was a disrespectful thing. I'm like, no, that is like,
I read he's crying. Yes, I was waiting for you to bring it up. You can hear in his voice, he's going, this is the way. Because he's hearing about someone who gave their life for Mandalore.
Literally.
Yes. Like, he takes a full breath of pause. Like he stops. That is weighing on him.
I would have liked to
You can hear him crying.
Cool.
He's crying.
That man is a saint.
His voice shakes.
Yes. I mean, yeah, you got to think. Anyone from that family, that royal family, must mean something to him in some capacity. If he knows the lore, if he hasn't been there. It's you know what's funny? Yeah. It's almost like people who, and this is what it feels like. Nothing against people that are Christian or Catholic or whatever, but like it's like when people don't want to admit that Jesus was a Middle Eastern man. Like this, people are too afraid to admit it. So like, you know, he's coming to terms with this idea that, you know, Mandalorians are obviously, you know, not just, you know, people that are bound to a planet. It's obviously a whole creed. It's a whole experience. He was a foundling. Grogu's a foundling, but he's talking to a royal. He's talking to someone of a direct Mandalorian bloodline. her father died defending the planet, and that moment of honor is just like, you know, he's pretty much walking the crucifixion. If he's walking the stations of the cross at this moment.
It's even more of like a refutation of like the bloodline thing, because even if you go back and look at the previously on for this episode, like the armorer says, like Bo-Katan's only claim to the seed of Mandalore was her bloodline. So you juxtapose that with Bo-Katan saying, my father died protecting Mandalore from the Empire. Take that a step further. My sister, even if I disagreed with her, was murdered as the sitting Duchess because she refused to bend the knee to Darth Maul and all of the all the radicals that Bo-Katan threw in with. You know? God. So Din is having this weird experience that like I've witnessed a lot of people who start to have like a metamorphosis within their faith where they recognize like, oh, all the people I heard about being these heretics, these pagans or whatever, are actually not that bad. Like, how can Din Djarin hear this story about how Bo-Katan brought a curse to Mandalore when her father died for this planet? Din Djarin saw what Bo-Katan was willing to do just to liberate what's left of Mandalore in season 2. So Din has to be having a crisis where he's starting to see the cracks all the way back in season 2, where it's like, oh, I heard you weren't a real Mandalorian. Meanwhile, you're like ready to go to war with Moff Gideon and his endless supplies. You have stolen freighters and you're ready to lay your life on the line, you know?
Meanwhile, Bo-Katan's the one who's like bringing him down to the mines while they're on some other planet, not helping him at all. And so who's really going to be there for him at the end of the day? This person who is actually the rightful ruler of Mandalore anyway, or these other people who say she's invalid.
It was so cool to see that dynamic, though, I will admit. The dynamic of Grogu and Bo, and like, you know, talking about the Jedi stuff. And obviously Grogu can't talk yet, but like even the moments of like, I fought alongside Jedi, you know.
He did say Peli.
I knew some Jedi.
Yeah, he said Peli this
episode.
episode.
He said Peli.
Okay, did he say Peli?
You guys think he said Peli? I thought it just went.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But
He said Peli. It's like tonight we were talking, me and Eleanor were talking to my nephew, my 1-year-old nephew down south. And it sounded, I swear to God, like he was saying Ella. And stuff tonight, and so that's what it is. It's like a you hear a baby cooing and it sounds like your name, and you're like, oh, they said my name. The baby said my name. That's exactly what the Peli thing is. Yeah.
Real quick Eli interjection. I think it's great. Eli mentions, by the way,
Adonai.
Go compete. I would love to see Joe do In a Galaxy. I'm just going to say that out loud. A epic confrontations, if you will. If you know Star Wars trivia, Joe. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't, but I would love to sit there and nod.
Eli, get Joe Organa on the desk to call a match.
Oh, he can just host. Oh, he can just host with. Oh, that'd be hot.
Could bring like your own round cards and everything, right? Like the round card, the card. Be the card guy.
Organa just shirtless, looking sexy as hell, and your 5-pointer.
This round's 5-pointer. No, but this is great. What did it say? Andani Kreese? Is that what it said? I did not realize.
Adonai.
Adonai. Oh, Adonai is Hebrew for God. So there may be something a little bit deeper to that. It's very Dave. It's very John. I like that. And like, I don't know. I sit and watch this episode and I'm thinking, okay, you're already deconstructing the format of it. You're already deconstructing like, you know, what it means to be a Mandalorian in both areas, right? When you're blood, when you're a foundling, and like y'all said, the equilibrium of it is beautiful. And of course, there's a tipping point towards the end, which we'll look at. But I was just so excited to see a lot of what we got in this episode being, I guess, reminding me that the volume, when done properly, by the way, looks the absolute effing best.
I don't know, man.
Oh my God.
Look, I mean, we know that, was it IGN put out a review today, and I think I actually have a clip. I have a screenshot here. I have a screenshot here of the actual screener that this reviewer got before he actually got to change it. Here's a clip from that's the clip.
That's the cave scene
of his. That's him. Yeah, that's them in the cave. I don't know if you can see if you look very carefully.
I think I can.
You can start to make out.
Okay.
No,
Listen.
I watched this.
That shit was hard to see.
I had no trouble. I saw everything.
I had no trouble
trouble
either.
I watched it. I watched it on
You
my
might need to
Samsung.
see your optometrist.
I swear.
I watched it on my Samsung. I didn't see it wasn't as good. Then I watched it on
watched
my
it
Sony
in the dark.
and it looked amazing. So I think it might really come down to TV. But that Game of Thrones shit is dark. And I don't care what anyone says. That is, and there's episodes of The Bad Batch where I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like there's some episodes of Bad Batch. I'm like, this is so dark.
But
this
I saw that
episode-
more. In fact, I saw that review, and then I watched the Bad Batch, and I was like, "Oh, it is pretty dark." I'm like, "Oh, he was talking about Mando, not the Bad Batch." What the hell? You know?
Listen, there's something weird happening with TV settings that is not being taken into account. For example, go watch any episode of the Clone Wars except for I think season 7. There is something weird happening with the picture because the screen color, all the contrast, everything changes when a lightsaber is being swung. There's a weird effect that happens to the TV when a lightsaber is being swung. It gets weirder. It gets darker. The lightsaber
I thought it
is
was
like
just my TV.
no,
Oh,
it's not
man.
just your
Oh,
TV. The
man.
lightsaber
I
gets
thought it was just
practically
me.
translucent, and
I
it
thought it
messes
was
with the whole
my
picture
fucking
quality.
brain, like,
There's
messing with me.
something. There is some weird setting that is interacting with TVs weird, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how to pinpoint it.
It might be Disney Plus. If I'm gonna be
It's
honest,
probably Disney Plus specifically. And again, it doesn't make the episode bad, you know. Like again, people whose TVs are like reacting to the darkness and like adjusting settings, that's fine. But that still doesn't change the fact that there's a problem here where some people's TVs are just like pitch black.
Yeah,
again, like I said in the group chat we're in, it was not Battle of Winterfell White Walker bad.
No,
you know. But
No,
like you
not
know, like I could make out that Bo-Katan was on screen. You know, it wasn't like I had to sit on top of my TV like watching the battle.
Yeah, it wasn't AVP Requiem. Like it was fine.
Requiem. Oh my God, Michael! What a throwback! That was amazing. I love
Listen,
Requiem.
let's go ahead. Just click right now. We're gonna try to raise money for a better TV for that IGN.
What does this even take us to? Hold on, because I don't know what. No, go back, pull it back up. I have never really
support
actually
the
done
stream. Support the stream. It's just a it's a base setting.
It just goes to restream. That's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
that's smart. Good for them.
Follow us on Restream, guys.
Oh wow,
There
and
you
it keeps a count of who scans it. Jerry, look at that. That's badass. Okay, that's good to know.
It's pretty cool.
That's
good.
cool.
Good to know for sure. Yeah.
I thought one of the coolest things, and you can tell by the way, our boy Phil Tippett, who obviously worked on all the originals, is back and in full swing with that weird ass cyborg thing in that episode.
Oh my God,
that
it was
shit
so good.
was. Oh, dude! Look, at one point I'm watching
that,
and I'm not kidding. I was transported, and I didn't even live in the '80s, but I felt like a kid, like they're like showing notifications, and someone scanned the QR code. That's so weird. No, that's so odd.
Fancy.
No, I felt like I was watching Alien. I was watching Predator for the first time when it's that shot of Grogu and he's like peeking around. It felt like Goonies. It was so awesome. It was so good.
It was so Star Wars. It was so the prequels. It felt very prequel-y.
Yes.
And I loved it. It was so good. And he was so creepy. And it was like seeing Grievous for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's one of
when
the
I
best
first
designs
watched
we've had ever. Oh, go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say when I first watched it, I thought I was crazy for thinking that it reminded me of Kazdan Paratus from The Force Unleashed, and then I saw literally everyone on Twitter talking about it, and so I felt less crazy for it.
See, that makes me feel better because I was the only person I knew saying Kazdan. Everybody I saw was like Grievous. But like some of the sound design on that thing even sounded like the Junk Titan from The Force Unleashed.
Well, just a lot of the also environment was very Rexus reminiscent.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
It really reminded me of the dungeon in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. That whole scene when Grogu was like creeping up to the thing, it really reminded me of that environment.
That whole sequence felt very it felt very Willow-esque to me.
Yes.
Just kind of like it just felt very felt very fantasy. Get the
I loved it. That dark 80s fantasy.
Yep, 100%.
I love that.
It was very dark 80s fantasy. Yeah.
One thing I do like too is and this is how I gauge some of the things I watch. Sometimes Katie, obviously, fan of Star Wars, been to all the conventions. She's a great partner when it comes to that. But to watch her watch some things and to experience it together is something. to have her be like super excited when that thing like it gets cut down and then it becomes a spider. I'm like, that's so, and she was like, oh, that's sick. I'm like, yeah, that is really sick. And like, I don't know, it's such a good plot device. Like you can't really kill it, kind of idea. And I don't know, it served it really well. And it can be a metaphor for a lot of things, but most importantly, like, is that a person? Was that a Mandalorian? Or is that
it's got something inside of it, maybe. And honestly, it looked a little techno union-y. Because it's a little a little steampunky and everything.
It's weird, like Death Rattle. I've watched the episode 3 times now. It's Death Rattle when Bo-Katan actually kills it, the way it kind of like it's like it conveys so much pain and anguish when it finally dies. Like it's just gonna be one of those like stupid little Star Wars moments that just stays with me because it was like, God, that was so well directed.
See, mine, Jared, my version was whenever he first crawled the big crab thing and its spine, it's like kind of like back went and like kind of like stretched out, and then he like
it almost looked like hair coming out of it.
It was like a cat when a cat stretches. It was like,
yeah.
Oh, it was so cool.
Like that is like the best design we've gotten, I feel of the new era. Like it's just like everything about, again, the horror of it and just this, it felt very Star Wars. It felt very horror. It felt very it just felt so fresh and new. It was just it's I don't know, but it's slowly becoming just my favorite thing that exists right now. Because it's so weird. It's so weird. So cool. I love weird Star Wars. I love weird Star Wars so much.
It works so well too, because the part where he sticks that like long needle and din, and then you watch like this like gross filtered blood. Like it was like
pulling out his fluids.
As a kid, that would have freaked the shit out of me. If I was 6 or 7 watching, I'd be like, "This."
Dan also needs to get tested because he definitely has like space HPV.
Oh my god!
Something.
He's got tetanus now.
Where have those needles been?
Tetanus on a good day. Tetanus on a good day.
He's lucky if it's tetanus. No, see, I showed Ellie the episode before this. I'm watching this. I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna happen, man. She's gonna be like, listen, that eyeball droid is coming out from under my bed, Dad. It's not gonna happen. Oh,
man. I liked what that, I like what that made me feel for a minute. Like Star Wars isn't really, Star Wars gets gruesome, but Star Wars hasn't been that gruesome, and like in an like, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not an unfiltered and uncanny kind of way. Like I'm like, this is like really kind of creepy. Like it was kind of freaking me out a little bit. Like just seeing like that, like
the
and
eyeball.
Y'all know that. Well, y'all know this color too, like that, like almost cigarette stain color. Watching his blood through that tube, I was like, oh, like that is just like
that's
Saw. It's like Saw, it's like meant to like make your skin crawl a little bit. And then of course he was like super out of it after that. I was like, this is so weird. Like he must have like really been messed up off that stuff. And he came to and they had the great conversation. And like,
am I the only one who felt like that felt very Clone Wars too?
Oh,
that's like, definitely.
We go to a planet. It seems uninhabited, but we've got these crazy critters out here who are trying to kill us, like those Gamorrean guard.
It is 100% a Clone Wars episode.
And then you go down there. It felt like the episode where Savage Opress is looking for Darth Maul, and he comes across Morley. Right?
Oh my God, Jerry, you are so on the nose with this.
Right? It's exactly how it felt. It gets down there and there's this like some like horror show going on just beneath the surface. Like, what the hell is happening? It's 100% Clone Wars style stuff to me.
Brian's gator turtle guts were so beyond a human scale. This gnarly sidebar goes right there. I agree. Oh my God. I agree though. Like you have to, this is the show you do creatures with, right? And like, as much as I enjoyed Andor, I always dog on it. And I don't mean to, but like that to me was lacking. That kind of thing. Now we did get like the death.
Eli, you're in that episode. What are you talking about?
What the hell, Eli?
By the way, before we move on, everyone scan this QR code. Just can y'all see it? Yeah, it's in that top
one.
corner. That one. Yeah, that's just very. I want to see who scans it. They'll tell us.
No reason.
No reason at
all.
No reason at all. Just scan it. Let's see if anyone does it. I should have changed the name just to say Bombad. That's what I'll do. Hold on.
Should have changed it to Joe's OnlyFans or something.
Surprise!
Nice.
Yes, someone scanned it. You fool.
Now you're required to buy him a gift.
Now you have to do it.
You have
Now
to.
it's there.
Sorry.
Those are the rules.
You scan it. You scan it. You buy it. Just saying, you know.
Now you have to.
Should we get to the elephant in the room? I don't know if you want to talk anything else about this episode, but I'm about to pop off.
Fine, I'll pull it out.
Let's whip it out, baby. Go Tigers. Here we go. No, my mighty mythosaur. No, I have never been one to be like, you know, I like you said, Jared, I was never like big on the Mando culture. Like my cousin Troy, who's I think in the chat right now, he's like he's had like the Mythosaur wallet. He's had the Mythosaur poster in his room as a kid. He like loved Boba Fett. And here I am coming into this show and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited to see some more of that, right? I'm pumped. But like, I love that. I love what it means. There he is. I love what it means for, you know, obviously the overall story. And what we're gonna get in creature design and how it looks. And I always wanted to know what their faces look like. But like here we are, she goes down to save, and I think it was a misstep. People are saying he got sucked in. I think he slipped and his armor's too heavy, and his dumbass didn't have a jetpack on. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
I assumed it dragged him down.
You think it was that?
I think it's a little bit of
down
both.
so quickly.
I know he did fall very fast. Yeah,
I think he was not on steady ground, but something pulled him in. Whether or not it was even the Mythosaur trying to bring him in, like if that thing just fucking moved and it was too close,
yeah,
I could see it kind of knocking him astray and then like him going straight down.
I'm with you, Scotty. I think it's just he stepped off the last step and there was just nothing there, just a
boom.
cliff.
And we don't know how. That's the first one we ever saw Beskar in water, if I can recall, right?
No,
the
boat.
It's
like poetry. It rhymes. The first time we see Din Djarin nearly drown, who is there to extend her hand and pull him through the watery depths to save his life?
That's true. That's right. But who? You know what's funny too? You never know. It could be the salinity of the water. Like I know it's so stupid and sciencey, but you're right, Jared. She's the one that saves his ass. But I do really. There was one push shot, and they never do a push shot in Star Wars like this. It was Spielberg AF. It was like so far back, and they push all the way up to Bo's face, watching him recite that creed, watching him forgive for his sins, right in his baptismal font, and then he falls in, and like that's when the shit hits the fan. The music is great. Everything's so intense. She has the light on. She's going down, and like I thought it was brilliant. What
if he just took a misstep? Why did he pass out? He is such
He is
such like a wilting flower this whole episode.
He really was.
I mean, you could make an argument.
He did lose a lot of fluid.
I thought Bo-Katan was a princess. He is all of a sudden getting rescued left and right.
Listen, Eyeball Dude just sucked out all of his cum. Okay, I mean, what's he gonna do? You know,
Scott usually sleeps for 16 hours once I'm done with him.
Oh, when he's done with that, I'm done for. Yeah. No, when I get slurped, and you get a funny tummy the next day. That being said, young, dumb, and full of fun. No, that being said, I was sitting there and like I had been told, like I hadn't seen the leaks or anything, but I was told by a couple people that I got screeners that were like, "You're gonna shit," and I'm like, you know, I do my best to like try to temper expectations, but like how it was done was so amazing. Like the fact that she goes up and she has the flashlight on, she sees like something, not sure what it is, and then you see like just the curve of that first horn or like tusk, whatever it is. I'm like, they're not doing it. I thought it'd be like a skeleton or part of the like mountain or rock structure down there, but like to see the eye zoom, and like the best shot is it cuts back to her. I don't know if y'all. I've watched this scene maybe 20 times.
The bubbles
yesterday. The bubbles go.
The holy shit bubbles.
Yeah. It's like, this is so good. And of course, you know, you see it, and then literally you can barely see it. It is dark. I will admit this scene is dark, but as it does this, it literally shows the outline of the full thing.
That is intentionally so. That is just enough to tell this is exactly what you think it is, but not give away the whole game. It's so perfect.
It's so good. Perfect. And like instantly I was captivated. I'm like, and everything Bo-Katan thought she knew, all the things she was shit talking, reading the plaque mockingly.
I love that there was a Parks and Rec, literally a Parks and Rec plaque.
Yes,
like right there.
Yes,
here's the magic mines where the mythical mythosaur,
like
once lived.
Yes,
the glib when he tamed the mythic beast. Eye roll, you know, like you almost get the vibe that she's not even convinced mythosaurs ever existed.
No,
you know,
literally,
it's like the Loch Ness monster. Honestly, imagine if you went to save your friend in Loch Ness and you saw effing Nessie.
God,
like that's what this is right here.
See, Katie said it's like if a Christian or someone saw Christ. Like literally everything you were like, I have doubt in it. Yeah. I have faith. I have doubt in it. And all of a sudden, everything you never would have thought that you'd see is right before your eyes. And your whole perspective has changed. Even through the suits, the acting was insane. He's knocked out. She's like sitting up like, oh my God. And by the way, another first for the series, we've never had a literal cliffhanger ever in this way, where it's like, there's no like true ending to the episode except for that. I was so excited. I'm so happy we broke that trope to now we can be like, oh shit. It was a complete story, but it still kind of cut it to where you can go, how are they picking up the next one? So like, and we know no screeners have been out for this next episode. We know that for a fact. So I'm just...
I feel like this is the first time I don't know what's going to happen the next episode. Like I have no idea what's going to happen in the next episode.
Especially since we've already gotten to what we thought the plot of this entire season was going to be.
We just got to the series season finale.
Done. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
The only things we know we're going to get that shot of Coruscant, right? And then Din with all those Mandalorians. Other than that, every shot
Order 66 or even
Order 66
something we don't even know, something in the temple. Is it the
Dark
Saber heist? Is it the Purge? Is it Nightfall? Who knows?
Oh my God. I was like that moment was to me like the Tamora Morrison end of Book of Boba. End of chapter 9 of Mandalorian to me. I was like, holy cow, this thing that, and if you're invested in the lore, and I'll say this here, we were all very lucky enough, everyone on this screen except for Joe, unfortunately, we all rewatched every Mandalore-centric episode of Clone Wars and Rebels as well. And like coming into this, I was like, yeah, we're going to get more of it. And like the fact that they just like, all right, here's everything that you've always wanted to see on screen. It's like Legends just, it's so cool that they can do this and pay off all the investment a lot of us have put into this entire franchise, you know?
And I think even for people who are more casual, who aren't as big on like Clone Wars and all the expanded universe lore, the Mythosaur is established in episode 1 of this show.
Yes.
Quill literally talks about that with Din when he's training him to
people were able to tame the mighty Mythosaur.
Oh. And like, let's be real, this is the first, we've gotten large, organisms before, and the Purgils and even the big buff fish from the Phantom Menace, but like to see this thing to scale is going to be wild. I thought they'd be crate dragon size, but this is way bigger than a crate dragon. This is huge. It reminds me of Joe. I mean, this thing is massive. God, dude, it's big and bulbous and just like hits. Oh God!
And I thought it was a myth.
Yeah, I thought it was a myth.
And you two can find out for $9.99 a month.
Whoa!
I gotta put the tag on here. No, I don't. How did y'all feel about it? Because I had like a spiritual experience. It made me rethink the whole episode. It made me want to sit down and read like just mythology stuff. Like it's just like you get told you're one way of thinking, she's the other way of thinking, and then he's not even conscious for it. So like, I wonder if she's gonna play it off. Is she gonna be like, no, he was like, what is gonna happen? Because Grogu was very much aware. He didn't know what happened, but he was like, oh shit. Something must have just went down. Like I
don't think she's
I've
tell
made
him.
this comparison with Boba Fett, especially, but just as like a shorthand, part of me thinks we're gonna get Bo-Katan in the next episode acting like Jules in Pulp Fiction at the beginning of the third act.
Oh my God, no!
Because like every time I talk about Boba Fett, like from Mando on, I always use like the end monologue with Ringo in the diner.
Oh, the best.
It's like, but like, Bo is going to do what Jules was doing in the car with Marvin.
Nah,
like,
nah,
have you
man,
ever heard
that's
of
a
divine
sign from
intervention?
God. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a sign from God.
God.
That is,
Yep.
yeah. Like again, I do it. Like again, it's what I love. That I think the armor is going to continue to cast Din aside, and he's going to realize the importance of myth and legend, but recognize the harm that's being done with the Children of the Watch. And Bo-Katan is going to find her faith again, and she literally had to like look in a Mythosaur's eyes. And what I am so excited to see is who this new age of the Mandalore is supposed to be alluding to. Is it Din? Is it Bo? Is it Grogu?
I mean, that's the thing. God, we don't know. Ugh. Anyone else have any hot takes on this? Because I'm like,
I feel like,
foaming
I
at the
mean,
mouth.
as of right now, I feel like they're pointing towards Bo-Katan. When she picks up that the Darksaber, it's so light and airy for her, and she's just throwing around. If you notice, when Din is picking
She's
it
just
up and
doing it,
fighting
yeah.
those like monsters, it's very he's like swinging around. I don't know. I have a feeling that somehow Bo is going to convert or come to some sort of terms with the Children of the Watch, and they're going to become her followers. Because right now we have no other Mandalorians that are on screen.
Nope.
When we go to her castle, she's just chilling with that one robot who I assume has a vibrating attachment because she's bored. You know what I mean? So the only other Mandalorians are the Children of the Watch. So I'm wondering if like maybe this Mythosaur is going to bring them all together, and they're going to learn to respect her somehow with the Darksaber. And she's gonna unite and restart the Mandalorians, right?
I love you, Joe. I just love that even in terms of like what we've been getting, that this can even be a conversation. And I mean that. Like I say this all the time and people get pissed off. I got attacked on Twitter one time for it. But Star Wars in some regards hold their fans accountable because like if you do invest into it, there is so much payoff. Like there is so much payoff, and not that every show needs to be watched, every book needs to be read, every reference needs to be known, but when you do know it, like there is just something so orgasmic. I'm not even kidding, just being like, holy cow, here's this again, and here's something we never expected.
I mean, let's also not pretend like the previously ons on the Mandalorian are not incredibly hand-holdy.
That's why I skip them. That's literally why I skip
honestly,
them.
like
I skip them.
I've started skipping them too, because like go back and watch the tragedy, watch the previously on. They tell you at the beginning of that episode that Boba Fett's going to be in it.
Yes.
They practically they show Fennec being rescued. They show the brief flash of Boba at the end of the Marshal. Like they do everything in their power to be like, you remember from last week? Remember last week?
You remember the Darksaber, right? The Darksaber, it's the lightsaber, it's dark, the Darksaber. You remember that, right?
Part of me is stunned that whenever the rescue aired, they did not show like a previously on and show Luke on Jabba's sail barge.
Yeah. No, literally, could you imagine? Good Lord. Oh. Yeah, Jerry, any takes on that?
No, not really.
Okay, well, look, I'm not kidding. My dad's a welding artist. Like he welds like professionally. He does art with it. And I sent him a text this morning because I was scrolling through Etsy. I'm like, I wonder. So I texted them. I sent him this picture from Etsy, and I said, word for word, how hard would this be to do with like a sheet of metal? I said, I feel like laser cutting would make it a lot easier. He goes, not hard, but laser cutting would make it easier. I said, okay, just curious. He goes, why? I said, I thought it looked pretty cool in my office.
Scotty won.
Well, you know, I literally,
Daddy, give me please.
Chef, can you make this, Daddy?
Yeah.
No, I literally just bought this. I got a stand for it, and I'm like, I know where I can put this. I'm gonna put it above my TV on its stand on the wall. The Mythosaur next to it. Perfect. Can't fucking beat it. Cool. Pardon my French. I'm just like, I've never cared so much about Mandalorian culture until literally that last moment. I'm like, there we go. That's how you got me. Everything you thought was fake and bullshit is actually real, and it's literally right beneath your feet. And you shit on it. He was obsessed with it. Like now you have to find a real happy medium because this is real. This is something you're gonna have to come to terms with this reality. Oh, I love it.
this world and its culture you thought was dead is alive still.
Oh my God! Yes, you're right, Michael. So well done because this whole planet's dead. Everything around it's dead. It's been bombed. It's been turned to glass. Yet beneath this glass onion is the mystery the whole time. Like literally, it was beneath the floors of this destroyed city is the key to all of it. The thing that could unite all Mandalorians, the Darksaber, and this mythical organism.
My biggest worry moving forward, and this is very much a me thing, I get nervous about how exactly they're going to stick the landing.
I agree.
Story-wise.
Yeah.
Like with the mythosaur being proved right. And again, I have faith in John and Dave. There's a little part of me that's afraid that they might accidentally make the moral of the story be, hey, rejoin that cult.
I wonder.
Is Din coming home going to be framed as a good thing? Is the armorer going to welcome him back with open arms? Right before coming on, I recorded an episode with Triad of the Force, and I was telling them, part of me wants to see the armorer do something just reprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
Make it unambiguous.
Lead a cult.
Do something horrible in the name of the cult.
I agree.
Yeah.
I want there to be a line in the sand drawn. The Children of the Watch are wrong. They are violent. They are radical. They are militant. They are part of a terrorist organization. The Bo-Katan helped lay the groundwork for. I really hope that we realize, because the etymology is obvious, right? Children of the Watch doesn't leave much to the imagination. I really hope that they make it just crystal clear, especially to the viewer who has not seen TCW yet, to be the reason that the armorer talks about Bo-Katan with such a disdain is because they look at Bo-Katan like a poser.
Yep.
You were ride or die for Death Watch until your guy got killed.
Yep.
Until your leader got killed. And the armorer gets to be I tried to give another Vizsla back the Darksaber. Your boy standing in my way.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to put the Darksaber back in the hands of another Vizsla. What did you do, princess? That's what I want to see. I want to see that level of animosity.
I think if we could predict it though, Jared, that's the problem, is that he was with Bo through this whole experience. The second she hears that, oh no, Bo-Katan guided me to the mines, right? Because I think he will be honest. Din is an honest dude. He has never lied to this chick once. About the mask, the helmet being taken off, about how he found Grogu. Grogu's a Jedi. He's always been honest with her. I think the second he gets back, it's I bathed in the mines. Bo-Katan showed me the way. She's going to go, nope. That is not my dogma.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. That is not my dogma.
Then the armorer gets an out. Even then the armorer's out is, well, you did it with somebody who's not a part of our faith. And you can even then make an argument that she's not acting in some amount of animosity. I have always viewed her her stance on Din as, you have the Darksaber, and that inherently challenges my title.
That's fair.
As the de facto leader. And that's why I keep saying I want to see her do something egregious.
Yeah.
Because then you also get a really cool redemption arc for Bo-Katan. Bo turned on Maul. And when we see her in Rebels, sure, she's on the right side of history. But Bo-Katan, and again, it's been a long time since I've seen Rebels, but she's never really been put in a situation where she has to look her actions down the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So putting her in a situation where it's okay, the ball is in your court to now deal with the cult that was born out of your terrorist organization.
That's true.
Clean your mess.
Yep.
Clean your mess. You're on now. Do you want to rule Mandalore? Do you want to save Mandalore from this constant infighting? Clean up the mess that you caused because of the infighting you have the nerve to complain about, because part of this is your fault, Bo-Katan.
Well, I love that we got to this. I love you guys. Does anyone else have anything they want to say before we wrap this whole thing up? Because I was on cloud 9 this entire episode.
Here's my take. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, mine was just very brief, which is for whatever reason, the first time I saw this episode, I did not love it.
Yeah,
I liked it just fine, and maybe it was just because I was tired because it was 2:30 in the morning. But
I was the same.
I didn't
Mikey.
feel
I
as
was the same.
strongly about it. But now, after rewatching it a second time, this episode was absolutely fantastic, and especially discussing all of its thematic relevance with all of you. And I think some of the moment-to-moment stuff, like some of the action, just didn't do it for me for whatever reason. It's fine, but I absolutely love what this episode meant thematically, and I love that I don't know anything about what's coming up.
Same. Same. God, I love that. Joe, any final thoughts, my friend?
For me, this episode was like a big shift for the entire series and the way that the story is being handled, and they're getting to the point as opposed to beating around the bush for a million episodes. And for me, I feel like that means we're going to get a lot of substance this season. And I love it, and I love the design of everything, and I had a great time the whole time. I was on the edge of my seat, and I feel like Jarod before was saying that Bo-Katan is mommy, but she's not mother.
There we go. That's good. That's well said.
Based.
Yeah, she's more mommy sorry. He's
like mommy, but she's not mother.
Yeah.
By no means. What about you, Jerry?
Well, Jared was talking about he's afraid of what Dave and them they're going to make the moral of the story, and I feel wanted that to be the moral of the story either. Someone said it's going to be him watching Grogu get his helmet or something, at the end, like Din watching as Grogu gets his helmet with the watch. And don't put that child in that cult, is what I gotta say.
No,
but you know what the moral of the story is going to be? Moral of the story is going to be Din's going to ride the mother effing mythosaur, and it's going to eat that cult alive.
Oh
Every last one of them.
They couldn't handle a crocodile. A mythosaur will eat them alive.
Dude,
that's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is
the only
your
thing
cult
keeping
will
the
be
watch
eaten by a
alive
mythosaur.
is the act of transporting the mythosaur.
oh my god!
It doesn't even have to. It's like he could travel through space and everything. It
I wonder.
He could just trick them all into taking their helmets off and then bring them to the water.
Yeah.
Guys,
bees in the helmets, guys. Bees in the helmets.
There's a pizza party. You gotta take your helmets off to eat the pizza.
We want the pizza.
Come on.
Oh man, yeah, I'm thrilled. I agree with Joe in every way. I want to see Michael too. I want to see where this goes. I want to know what I'm so excited to wake up next morning and we could cut to Coruscant. Like they could make us wait a little bit, right? Like they could make us wait a little while, which I'm fine with. Give us maybe throw a Boba Fett episode in there. I would be so happy. I really would be. That would be awesome, right? Just to kind of break
I'm sorry, this is called The Mandalorian. This is not the Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Star Wars has a branding problem.
I want just for that. I want it to be an entire episode about Boba Fett going to find streamers for the palace.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. He's out and he's he's calling episode. Santo, have you picked up the booze? Santos, don't go to Trandoshan Town.
Holiday special.
Don't go to Trandoshan Town.
Chapter what is it? What would it be? Chapter 18? 19?
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 19, like Path of the Daimyo, and it's just Boba Fett party shopping.
Please.
With the guy
Boba
though,
Fett
with his
to
major
Party
domo.
City.
Oh, with the hello.
I think that a banner would be prudent.
Oh, anyway,
to eat.
I'm excited to experience the rest of the season and text all of y'all and be in touch about it and to see our reactions. But this is a good Bombadcast. Again, if you haven't, there's a surprise link for anyone that's joining us. I think it's advantageous if you scan it. It's right next to Jerry's
surprise.
I clicked it earlier. It was oh my god, it was so good, Scotty. You worked super hard on that.
I know. I'll do another one real quick. We gotta give a shout out to another one. Hold on. Let's get this one scanned.
Wait, hold on. Let me.
Well, I'll get another one made real quick. So people are scanning the QR codes. Let's see. Big surprise. That's the name of this one. Hold on.
Ooh.
This one's called
Best
Big
Kind of Surprise.
Here we go. This is a big surprise. Now make sure everyone scans this one. This one, none of my students scan this one. Please do not scan this one, students.
Well, I know which one that one would be then.
Except I wouldn't scan it. We can see people scanning it. We literally see live updates of people scanning. This is crazy. We're doing this more often, Jerry. This is brilliant.
We are. Yeah. Scotty's students do not. He will get fired.
6 viewers scanned the QR code. Do y'all see that notification or is that just me?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's on
that's awesome.
I see it.
Oh, it's amazing. Okay, cool. You know, this is a good way to do.
Someone text me what it is because my phone isn't letting me scan it because I think it's like picking up like the warble of the screen with my camera.
This is actually a really brilliant way to plug people's shows. I'm not even kidding. Hold on. All right. Well, look, I'm going to wrap this thing up. I was just told by
Eli just texted me what it was. Thank you, buddy. That's what I thought.
We're going to wrap this wonderful show up. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I know we did our plugs at the top of the show. We can do some real quick plugs towards the end. Let's start with our sweet friend, Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe Organa, and you can just follow me wherever you feel like following me. On all social media, I'm just at Joe Organa, so feel free to follow me, and I love you, and I'm very attracted to all of you.
Oh, I love you.
Same. Hard same.
I'm flustered.
Just look at him. Just take a second. Let's everyone take a second. And just that's our mythosaur.
Daddy.
Imagine being underwater.
This is the way.
This is the way. What we got right here? Let's see what's going on with our sweet friend Jarod. Hold on, I gotta.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by Joe.
Compose yourself.
You guys can find me at on Joe Organa and on on Twitter and Instagram at Joe. I'm sorry, Dark Jedi 2552. And you can find my show, the Nerd Academy Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm also, as we talked about earlier, on Ionized Bastards, Michael's Star Wars Edge of the Empire real play show. I play Fabian Martell, a mysterious swashbuckling Dark Jedi. Very excited for the season finale. Can't wait. And as we alluded to earlier, I also compete in Epic Confrontations, the Star Wars trivia show put on by the In a Galaxy podcast. A month from today, Scotty and I will have our faithful rematch live.
Right. There it is. I'll pull it up. The date has been revealed. The date's gone.
Everybody stay tuned. Oh, I am.
Don't do that, please.
I almost.
Yeah, I do not want to hear the salvage
blind
voice.
you.
Ah!
It's there to I know.
My beautiful eyes.
Oh no! Listen, someone warned the guy who did that IGN article.
Wait a minute! Wait! Eli says he has the promo.
I couldn't look at the screen; it was so bright.
Scotty, Eli says he has the promo. Eli, send that to Scotty right now. He can play it before the episode ends.
That's right. I am being told by my other partner besides Joe that I need to wrap this thing up because I have things to do, and I don't blame her. There's a lot of clothes in the bed. Well, let's plug. By the way, Michael, do your plug real quick. Check this out, Ionized Bastards. If you have not checked out Ionized Bastards, you're missing out.
Yeah, check out Ionized Bastards. You can also follow me on Twitter at Local First Order. You can also, through my Twitter and on my YouTube channel, all remaining systems, you can find the Star Wars fan fiction I write. I write fan fiction centered around original characters. I've done an entire ongoing saga called Heart of the Jedi, and I am currently writing a story called Elegy of Malevolence Abyss. You can find audio readings of those on YouTube, and through my Twitter, you can find the link to my Archive of Our Own page where you can read them if you prefer.
What a genius. I love Michael. Scan that QR code. Check out that series. It's fantastic, especially his short stories. Jerry and I will plug a few things.
Scan that.
We obviously have next week. I have not made the thumb for it yet, but I'm excited to tell you who our guests are. For those that don't know, this is going to be a stacked episode. It's going to be, it's like if an AI wrote it. We've got Sean Room, very excited, good new friend of the show.
Sean.
We got Trey Mitchell from everyone loves Trey, most handsomest straight man on Twitter,
owner of the Anti-Scotty J-Road Twitter account.
What a
great
co-owner.
No, but last but not least, one of my favorite creators, Bombad Daniel, so tier. So I cannot wait for next week. We'll hear Daniel's original ideas. Has Eli gotten us this thing? Because I need to wrap this up. I just don't. I thought he hasn't sent it, or is he just saying he has it? What
I
is
think
this?
he was waiting for your order to actually send it. And when you said you had laundry to do, I think decided.
I don't blame him. We can post it here. We can post it there. We can post
Sometime.
it everywhere. That being said,
sometime.
Thank you for joining. And as always, let's get it from Joe. Let's get a good Stay Bombad from Joe. This makes me so happy.
What do you want? You want me to say "Stay Bombad"? You're so naughty.
Say it, but say it as if it was an OnlyFans request, and don't get crazy with it. But add a little bit of flavor.
I'm gonna need you to stay Bombad for me. You filthy little.
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share.
What is it? Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top,
and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer.
If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
come on, change. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
Time for us to take a break, but we wouldn't dream of being gone for long. See you in a little bit.